Are you having troubles making it to the mid phase of the game? Is it always a struggle, even to make it to top 10? What is up guys, my name is Vidak2 and welcome to another episode of Gameplay. And today, I am giving out some tips that may help you boost your chance to make it to top 10 or maybe even help you win a chicken dinner in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Disclaimer guys, the things that I am sharing to you right now are the things that I learned while playing hours and hours of PUBG. It helped me eventually, and so I hope this will be able to help you guys too. Having said that, let's go ahead and start. Tip number 1, graphic settings. When I first got the game, I wanted to look great whenever I play it. So back then, I always set my graphic settings to Ultra. Now, what I found out was that there is a thing called competitive setting, wherein all of the graphic settings are in very low and only textures are in Ultra. This is very effective because it will be able to optimize your PC, and with that, you can avoid those dreadful FPS drops and lags that we don't want, especially when you are in the middle of a fight. Tip number 2, headset. You have to have a 7.1 surround headset. Why? Because in Battlegrounds, you are in an advantage if you have the ability of hearing where a gunshot is coming from. Say, for example, you're kind of looking around and you're wondering where to go and you're looking for some enemies and you can't find them anywhere, right? And then you go running through the woods or something like that, and then somebody all of a sudden shoots you. Now, they may have you or caught you off guard, right? But if you have a 7.1 headset, you will be able to hear where they are coming from. So that way, you can immediately shoot them and delete them. Tip number 3, improve your aim. In order for you to get a chicken dinner, you have to win fights. Now for you to win fights, you have to level up your aim. This takes time and practice. I would recommend to drop in some of the most populated areas of the map and engage in as many fights as you can. Set a realistic goal for yourself so that you won't be able to get bored in doing so. For example, let's say you have an average of 2 kills in a game. Your target should be to have at least 1 kill higher than your average kill, and then keep on doing that until you are confident that you can achieve 3 kills in a round. Or let's say you are focusing on headshots, and your average is 2 headshots in a game. You should now aim for 3 headshots until you are convinced with your performance. Now the next step should be to aim for a much higher value. Let's say for example now you're gonna aim for 4 kills and then 3 headshots, right? When you achieve that, go for a higher value. Let's say 5 kills and 4 headshots. In doing so, you will be able to improve your aim. Always challenge yourself consistently, one small step at a time. Tip number 4, training mode. PUBG has a number of guns and attachments that you can choose from, and each gun behaves differently when it comes to recoil. New players are very fortunate because they can take advantage of the training mode, wherein players will be able to understand different recoil patterns, and of course they can also practice on how to properly control bullet sprays. Tip number 5, awareness. Players need to have a sense of what kind of situation they are in, And to do that, you have to be familiar with certain stuff. One of the things that you have to be attentive to, especially on the early part of the game, is the path of the airplane, potential drop spots, and of course, the circle. You can get an idea of where players may end up just by looking at these three. Another thing that you have to consider, particularly on the mid phase of the game, is the number of players alive versus the diameter of the circle. If the circle is small and there are still a lot of players alive, you have to concentrate on spotting the enemy. And on top of that, you have to be alert and extra careful all the time, because chances are you are going to end up in a gunfight with somebody, particularly if you're queuing solo. On the other hand, if the numbers of players are few and the circle is still relatively extensive, then you are less likely to run into somebody. You can now be confident on positioning yourself tactically in the map for the final phase of the game. Once you are in the last stage of the game, you have to pay attention and assess your situation so that you can decide on what kind of strategy you are going to proceed with. For instance, let's say there are 5 players alive including you, and then suddenly you hear an AK spray on your far east. You have to look at the screen and see if it is a confirmed kill. If so, you now have a clue that there is a guy on your right with a nasty AK and that there are 2 more players missing on the map. With that information, you can now decide what kind of strategy you are planning to go with. You can push the guy on your east, or you can reposition yourself strategically on the map and camp, or maybe stay put and hope for them to run into each other. Whatever plan you can come up with, you can now calmly decide and be a lot more relaxed during the last phase of the game. Those are the tips that I can give for now. I hope I was able to help you guys, and I'd be grateful for your feedback. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please don't hesitate to do so. If you liked the video, you can follow my Facebook and my YouTube for more content. If you want to see some live action PUBG, you can visit and follow my Tamago page, or you can download the Tamago app on your cell phone and then follow my page. All links are on the description below, and as always, thank you for watching and see you on our next gameplay.